Hello, it is Foundation Friday, June 5th, 2020. Steve Cypress here in front of one of my, or three or four of my bookshelves, because you're delving right back into the book, How to Be Rich by J. Paul Getty, written when he was the richest man on earth. And as you can see from where I have my finger bookmark, we are nearly at the end of the book. We are starting the final part 5 with The Morals of Money, according to J. Paul Getty, who spends the chapter explaining that everyone thinks they want to be a millionaire, multimillionaire, billionaire. It all sounds great. And of course, money can do a lot of good, but it can also do bad things to people. And he goes through all the downsides of it, that a lot of people would respond by saying, I'll take it. I'll take the downsides. I'd rather, I've been I can say I've been rich and I've been poor, and I'd rather take the rich. So he talks about the downsides of wherever he would go for lunch, whoever he would have lunch with, rumors would start about takeovers and inside stock deals and whatever. He's like, even if we were just discussing sports. And then if he went anywhere he went out, if he was dancing with somebody, rumors would swirl about a new red-hot romance, even if it was his niece. And he would get over 100 letters a day from total strangers asking for money. And he said, of course, it's impossible. He said, I assume, of course, some of these are from actual needy people, but some of them are also from shysters and panhandlers, and it was impossible to think anyone would do all the research to check them all out, so he just said he rejected them all. And on and on and on and on with all the downsides of it, and how no matter what he did, people would complain. If he left a big tip, they'd say he was showing off. And he would go somewhere and not leave a big tip, they'd say he was a penny-pinching, no-good miser who didn't care about other people, and so on and so on. You get a little insight, by the way, to why the guy currently in the White House right now here in the U.S. has such amazingly thick skin, just like J. Paul Getty. He's, as a billionaire, which he's been for decades, he's gone through this. A lot of it self-inflicted, because he insists on parading himself, making himself a media person and being on the front page, or the page 6, as it's known in New York, of the gossip columns and whatever. I grew up in New York following his escapades and nonsense and PR blitzes. And so, of course, he's been slammed and trashed and bad-mouthed and whatever, and he's dealt it right back to people everywhere he's gone for years. So you can tell he just goes on as if nothing else is going on, where every other person running for office would have, of course, just dropped out of the race. You forget that I don't know if you do forget, but during the entire campaign, multiple times it was like, that's it, now he's dropping out, because it was just uncovered he slept with a porn star. Nope, he's still in it. It was just uncovered that he had this revealing tape. He said he grabbed women by their private part. Now he's going to drop out. Nope. No matter what happened, this was uncovered, that, and he's never going to drop out. And J. Paul Getty goes through the similar things in this chapter, well before the Trump era. Trump was just starting out in his career when this book was written in the early 60s, but very similar stories about always, people, no matter what he does, people are just going to say bad things, and so nothing could possibly bother him at this point. But he does have a couple of good things to say about the obligations, the morals of having money. He also talks about even multi-millionaire business people, if they're active in business, it's not like they're sitting on stockpiles of cash, buried in the mattress or under the box spring or whatever. It's all put to work. There's no liquid cash going on. It's all invested. He believes that money is meant to be put to work, to help people, to create jobs, to make the world a better place. So it's not like active multimillionaires not sitting there. Also, it's another thing he said, man, if we spent our money and went gallivanting around the world, we'd be accused of, being a playboy and wasting money and not caring and blah, blah, blah. But if we keep it all, then it's like, what a miser. You don't invest in other things, and you don't give to people, and you don't help. He's like, no matter what you do, when you're in the public eye, you're going to be smashed by lots of people. But here's what he says at the end. where he says money can do things for people and it can also do many things to them. What money does for or to a particular individual is largely dependent on his moral and intellectual standards, his outlooks, and his attitudes toward life. If he's a businessman, the important consideration is what he does with his money. As I've said earlier, the best use he can make of it is to invest it in enterprises which produce more and better goods and services for more people at lower cost. His aim should be to create and operate businesses which contribute their share to the progressive upward movement of the world's economy, and which thus work to make life better for all. Therein lies the justification for wealth, and therefrom does the working businessman derive the greatest sense of satisfaction. That is what I have tried to do with my money, and those are the aims and goals of the companies in which I have invested. Those are or should be the morals of the successful businessman's money. And you notice how you hear me talk a lot about the differentiation between a business owner and an entrepreneur. Business owner, in my mind, my definition, is someone who owns one business, which is great. It's better than being dependent on somebody else for a job or the government or unemployed. But they really just own one business. And everything they do is all about just doing more work, getting more work. They're never going to open a second location. They're never going to take on another opportunity. They're rarely going to put in a new whole line of income or a new product stream or a new division or anything like that. They're not opportunity minded. They're business owners. They're self-employed pretty much. They just have a job, except they work for themselves, as opposed to the entrepreneur who's always looking for opportunity, always investing, always starting new businesses, adding in new products, new services, new locations. And so you see where Getty uses it here and says, his aim should be to create and operate businesses. His aim should be to create and operate businesses. So right there, Getty is very clearly, he didn't say their aim is to operate businesses. He's not talking about a business owner who just says, I made money and I run one business. He's talking about the purpose of money is to create and operate businesses, to constantly invest and grow and start new businesses and help more and more people through providing products, services, paying suppliers, paying taxes, as much as we don't like being overtaxed, but of course taxes are what pay for, I was going to say the police and the fire, but nowadays, what the heck? This abolish the police nonsense. It's going on. I mean, all kinds of craziness going on. But anyway, let's go to the questions, comments, concerns here. I see a bunch of people are here. And somebody whose name is Snowflakes. I love it. And Snowflakes is watching here all the way from the Philippines. Good morning. Happy weekend to you. Speaking of which, by the way, the weather has cooled off, or is cooling off. We had record temps over 110 all week this week here in Phoenix area. And I checked in the news this morning to see would it be another crazy day. And the temps were, mid 100s or whatever. But the forecast, I'm just laughing at ourselves here, the silly things we say. He said, but it's actually going to be a really nice, cool weekend. And then they flashed up the temperatures for the next 3 days, mid 90s. So nice and cool. And then came like the 10-day forecast, and up on the screen over the next 3 days where it's only in the 90s, it said cool, a cool thing. And then the rest was just, 105, 108, whatever, that's normal. So apparently here, I've been here 5 years and I'm still laughing about the fact that 96 degrees is considered a cool day. In the spring, it's not even summer yet, in Phoenix, Arizona. So I don't know what it's like in the Philippines, and I should not laugh. Okay, well, I'm going to laugh anyway. So I appreciate you being on my video, but you are not the director of my video or my life or anything else that I know of, and I'm going to laugh. I'm going to laugh about every minute of every day, no matter what's going on. As I talked about with Jake Paul Getty, Trump, anyone successful. I mean, I did door-to-door sales for 9 years, so that helps, and that's why all the rhinos, anyone successful is going to develop thick skin. So, I've had lots of people tell me don't do this, don't do that. I don't remember having people tell me don't laugh, but no matter what they tell me not to do, I don't give a crap. I'm going to do what I want to do. And Snowflakes here says, I'm the only snow in tropical land Philippines, and I'm melting now. Okay, you know what? This has devolved into total silliness, but thanks everyone being here live and watching on the replay. Gotta love the name Snowflakes. There are certainly a lot of snowflakes here in the US these days, and I don't mean in the winter when the flakes are coming down and people are skiing on them. And that'll do it for Foundation Friday. We've only got 2 more chapters to go in J. Paul Getty's great book, How to Be Rich. So we'll be talking about that next Foundation Friday, and I'll be back tomorrow, as always, on Social Media Saturday. I got some big tips for anyone that does Facebook advertising. I will save you a lot of money and hopefully make you money as well. So I will see you tomorrow. Over and out. Bye-bye.